You can move out, go no contact, and build a whole life of your own and still catch your narcissistic mother running in the background of your reactions. In this video, we're covering 8 signs that you were raised by a narcissistic mother. Signs that show up in everyday habits you never once traced back to her. Hi, I'm Jerry Wise, and for over 45 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people heal and get their families out of them by practicing self-differentiation, the process of becoming your true self and releasing the false self you were trained to be in your family of origin, so you can finally experience clarity, peace, and lasting freedom. Some of these are going to surprise you. They feel so ordinary that you've never thought to question them, even though every one of them can be traced back to a narcissistic mother. Sign number 1, you hear, "We need to talk," and instantly assume you're in trouble. With a narcissistic mother, "we need to talk" was never neutral and never a neutral sentence. It meant you've done something wrong. Of that, she was about to hand you your disappointment to carry. So you learn to listen for that danger in those words. Decades later, a partner or a boss says, "Hey, Jerry, we need to talk." And your whole body responds as if you were a child again, waiting to find out what you did. You start rehearsing your defense and bracing for the verdict before a single word has been said. Also, the whole day and the whole weeks go by trying to figure out what might I have done in the past that could bring me to this "we need to talk" moment. That reaction is what I call the system feeling. It's an old response your family wired into you, and it still fires on cue long after the person who installed it is gone. We find ourselves meeting an old fear in a new room. Number 2. You feel a flash of panic when someone doesn't text back. A narcissistic mother teaches you early and without ever saying it out loud that love can be withdrawn at any moment. The silent treatment, the cold shoulder, the sudden distance that wouldn't lift until you somehow earned your way back into her good graces. All of it taught you that connection is conditional and can vanish without warning. So a quiet stretch in a conversation never quite lands as, well, they're just busy. Maybe they were preoccupied with something else. As an adult, an unanswered message becomes something far than a delay. You go back over what you sent and search it over the mistake, half certain you did something wrong, because for so long silence always meant you had done something wrong. The panic is the echo of her conditional love, still shaping how you read the people you care about today. Number 3, you still make decisions in her voice. Picture this. You're standing in a store holding 2 options, and before you even worked out which one you actually want, a voice in your mind has already told you which one she would approve of. That voice is your narcissistic mother, and she moved in a long time ago and never has fully left. That voice never needed her in the room to keep talking. Over the years, it became part of how you think, an inner editor that runs every choice past one question: would she approve? It's why you can be 40 years old in your own home, spending your own money, and still hand your decisions to a woman who isn't even there. Those choices still feel like your preferences. Number 4, compliments make you suspicious. With a narcissistic mother, praise came with a hook built into it. You look nice, for once. You did well. Now don't let it go to your head. A compliment was bait, a setup, and a bill you'd be expected to pay later. So now when someone offers you something kind, you flinch. You wait for the but, or you hand the compliment back, or you explain it away because warmth that asks for nothing in return still feels like a trap. In a healthy family, a compliment is simply a compliment. With a narcissistic mother, it came with terms. I remember being a lead singer in my college in a Mozart operetta. You may go, well, that sounds crazy, Jerry. Well, it was. But I was a music major and a pre-law major. And in doing this operetta, there were only two of us on the stage, a female singer and myself. And if you've ever done anything with Mozart, he's not easy to do musically. He's phenomenal and a genius, but he treats the voice like a piano. Well, most of us can't sing like a piano. But it was a hit, and someone paid me a compliment. You did a great job, Jerry. And what did I say? Well, I'm sure I could have done better. Sound familiar? Number 5, you feel responsible for how everyone around you feels. You became your narcissistic mother's emotional caretaker long before you were old enough to understand what that even meant. Her moods were the weather in the home, and your job was to forecast them, manage them, head the storm off before it broke over everyone in the household. So now you move through the world reading faces, soothing tensions that were never yours to fix or soothe or even read, and apologizing for moods you didn't cause. You hand everyone around you your patience, your attention, and your care, and you reach the end of your day with none of it left for yourself. This is self-abandonment, and it started as protection. In a home ruled by her emotions, managing her was how you kept yourself safe. You learned to manage her feelings so completely that you forgot you were ever allowed to have your own. Number 6, you over-explain things that don't need explaining. Growing up with a narcissistic mother, plainly saying, "Mom, because I want to," was never going to be enough. Every choice had to be justified, defended, and argued for. And even after all of that, the verdict had usually been decided before you opened your mouth. As an adult, you over-explain. You might even lie just to make the decision you want happen. A simple no arrives wrapped in 3 paragraphs of reasons, evidence, and apology, as though you're still building a case for the woman who stopped listening years ago. You're not being difficult, and you're not being long-winded. You're doing what you once had to do to feel safe, and it rarely won your choice with your mother. Number 7, your body still tracks your narcissistic mother's moods. You can read a person's mood from almost nothing. The sound of their footsteps in the hall, a single sigh, the way they set their keys on the counter. You learn this because your level of anxiety and safety once depended on reading your narcissistic mother before she walked into the room. We learned that to manage us, we needed to manage others first. Now, it is important to reverse this pattern. Self-differentiation work is about managing us, not others. In homes like this, children get wired into the family's emotional Wi-Fi, the current of unspoken tension, expectations that run between everyone without a word ever even being said. Your nervous system became an antenna, always tuned to the next change in the signal, and it never switched off. As an adult, you still feel a room shift before everyone speaks. The hypervigilance you learn to call being sensitive or intuitive is a survival skill your body was never given permission to retire. She turned your sensitivity into a security system that never powers down. Number 8, you call yourself too much before anyone gets the chance. A narcissistic mother gets there first. Too sensitive, too dramatic, too needy, too childish. She handed you those labels before you had the language to argue back, and you did whatever a child does. You believed her, and now you carry out the sentence on her behalf. You apologize for taking up space. You shrink your feelings before anyone can call them too big, and you introduce yourself with a disclaimer already attached. But I want you to really hear this next part. That voice in your head calling you too much was never actually yours. It belonged to her, and to the false self she trained you to become. You were never too much. You were only too much for someone who needed you to be too little, too small, out of the way, and submissive. None of these signs are who you really are. Each one is something you learned in order to survive a narcissistic mother and the system she built around you. Here's what matters. The work that frees you isn't learning to manage these patterns or cope with them or put more distance between you and her. Distance alone doesn't do it, because she isn't only out there, she is in here, in the voice that makes your decisions, in the body that reads every room, in the reflex that calls you too much before anyone else can. The real healing is self-differentiation. It's getting her out of you, releasing the self she trained you to be, and coming home to your real self underneath all of it. That's the work, and it's absolutely possible. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self, then join the Road to Self program. Many who have joined said it was their missing piece in their healing recovery, the step that finally helped them get their family out of them and stand strong as their true self. If you're not sure you're ready for the Road to Self program, then start with my free 84-minute self-differentiation training. Over 50,000 people have joined the free training as their first step. Click the links in the description to get started. Please comment on this video. I read the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss a new video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and be wise.